The value of any decision lies in the courage required to make it. Every defining moment in history, the ones that shifted the course of civilization, was forged by brave decisions that often came with grave risk. Some of these decisions meant freedom, others meant death, but all of them meant change. Let's begin with one of the boldest decisions in American history. On July 4th, 1776, 56 men signed a piece of paper. But it wasn't just paper. It was a death warrant. The Declaration of Independence was not merely a document. It was a bold stand against tyranny, a public declaration that they would rather die free than live as subjects. We celebrate that day every year, but do we truly understand what it took to make that decision? These men had no army, no money, no global influence. What they had was a decision backed by courage, faith, and clarity of purpose. And that made all the difference. Let's rewind to what set the stage for that moment. In 1770, tensions between British soldiers and American colonists were rising. When British troops opened fire in Boston, killing several unarmed civilians, the call for change intensified. Leaders like John Hancock and Samuel Adams didn't wait for permission. They decided it was time to act, and demanded the withdrawal of British troops. That was the spark. 2 men, 1 decision, and a movement began. These weren't rash choices. They were calculated, courageous, and most importantly, definite. Adams, Hancock, and their ally, Richard Henry Lee, didn't just react, they organized. They formed a committee of correspondence, uniting the colonies through communication and shared vision. It was the first sign of a mastermind alliance, a concept Napoleon Hill calls one of the key principles of success in Think and Grow Rich. Their power wasn't in their titles or wealth, it was in their conviction. When the British responded with threats, bribes to keep quiet or hangings to silence them, Samuel Adams had a choice: bend the knee for personal comfort or stand for freedom. His reply? I trust I have long since made my peace with the King of Kings. No personal consideration shall induce me to abandon the righteous cause of my country. He chose the latter. And that choice still echoes through every freedom we enjoy today. It's easy to think these decisions belong to another time, that we don't face the same stakes. But think again. Every great success story begins with a moment like this. Maybe not in a battlefield, but in the battlefield of the mind. Let me share another story, a modern one. The story of Fred Smith, the founder of FedEx. While at Yale, Smith wrote a paper proposing a revolutionary delivery model, an overnight shipping system built around a central hub. His professor gave him a poor grade, calling the idea unrealistic. But Fred made a decision. He believed in his idea so deeply that he raised $91 million to launch it, even when investors showed little interest and competitors tried to stop him. FedEx lost millions in its early years, but Smith refused to back down. He built a mastermind team, worked through the nights, and turned a near bankruptcy into a billion-dollar enterprise. Like the founding fathers, he backed his decision with persistence, organization, and faith. Here's what you need to remember. Every decision you delay robs you of momentum. Indecision is the enemy of achievement. Napoleon Hill, in Chapter 8 of Think and Grow Rich, tells us that out of over 25,000 failures he studied, a lack of decision was one of the top causes. People who fail to accumulate wealth, success, or meaning in life often share one trait. They hesitate. They wait for the perfect moment. They seek approval. They are paralyzed by the opinions of others. But opinions are the cheapest commodities on earth. Everywhere you go, someone will offer you theirs. But the people who build legacies, like Adams, Hancock, Lee, Jefferson, Washington, Smith, don't let opinions make decisions for them. They think, then act. When you know what you want, make your move. Be quick, be clear, and be bold. Don't talk about your plans. Execute them. As Hill says, tell the world what you intend to do, but first show it. Definiteness of decision is not just a trait of great leaders, it's a requirement of greatness. It's the gatekeeper to every door you want to walk through. Success, freedom, riches, happiness. They all require the same toll: the courage to decide and the will to follow through. Let me ask you, what decisions have you been postponing? What dream, business, or relationship have you put on hold waiting for the right time? How many opportunities have passed because you were waiting for someone else to validate your plan? The time to wait is over. Every decision you put off adds weight to your shoulders. It builds self-doubt. But every decision you make with courage sharpens your mind and strengthens your resolve. You don't need permission to start. You don't need perfect timing. You don't need to be liked, approved, or understood. You need to decide and then act. Remember, the 56 men who signed the Declaration didn't wait for approval. They declared their independence before they had a single guarantee of success. They decided, and that decision changed the world. So what's stopping you? As you reflect on this chapter, on the stories of Samuel Adams, Thomas Jefferson, Fred Smith, and countless others, know this: the power they used is not locked in the past. It's not hidden in a book. It's inside of you, right now. The question is not whether opportunity exists. The question is, will you decide?